Everybody, it's a Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today, and I just decided to do this video because I, I was, I'm not going to say what I was listening to, but probably guess with certain audio recordings of someone. I'm not going to say who it was, what it was, but it was pretty funny. But I started thinking about this whole concept that, I realized like, I've kind of gone too far now to go back to a certain threshold of reality that most people will expect from people, the normal society, the everyday society. And I'm actually, as part of me is conflicted about it a little bit, and that's why I mention it. That's probably why I talk about it, because there is this inner thing that does kind of want to be normal, blah blah blah, in a certain way, and it's always been there, But I real I realize I've gone way too far into this reality where it's too late. It's too late for me. It's too late for me to do what society. It's gonna move this a little bit. Sorry. I'm putting another patch on my jacket. That's why that's over there. It's too late for me to go back to what society expects me to do. Essentially, like the whole manner of speaking of have 1.5 kids, 2 dogs, and a cat, some girl in the suburbs, whatever, some woman as around my age too. I have to be like 2 years younger, or else it's rape. Fucking, if they're 5 years or more, it's rape. Sorry, just like laugh at all these SJW fucking things. I realize it's never gonna be normal for me. I'm always gonna be one step away from, or 10 steps away from what normal society or polite society wants. Because to put it bluntly, as much as I don't like to talk about age, or I do like to talk about age way too much sometimes too, I'm never going to be normal for a person my age. I'm not age appropriate, whatever. Look at how I'm dressed today, looking around me, this typical blank age person would do this. Probably not. They probably don't live like this. They don't dress like me. Most people, you go outside, they're not wearing this like mid-90s black metal, Viking metal, prog, whatever band you want to call it, shirt. They're not wearing all this stuff. They're not, there's just many different things that are different than normal society. And that's just the superficial shit, But like, it's too late. It's too late to be a normal person, is my point. Because it's not that I don't want to change, or that I want to change. I'm like, I veer from like, oh, if only I would have gone to normal college and had normal jobs and had normal socialization, normal development as a teenager, as far as like with dating and all this stuff. It's like, I think about that a lot, unfortunately, but I realize it's too late. It's too late for me, but this is kind of an empowering thing, because like, I think a lot of people would say, they would look at someone and say like, oh, well, it's too like certain relatives who I'm on the outs with right now. And I don't care what they think about this, because it's beyond. See, I'm beyond like caring about what they think. If I'm doing this video, I'm talking about them, because it doesn't fucking matter at this point, because they've gone well beyond acceptability in my, and a cordial a cordial amicability with me in my life. You know, the good taste will never prevail with them. So I can say whatever the fuck I want about that because I'm going to do it. So it's, they may think, there's hope. Like, oh, if you go to, do this, become a professional. Oh. It's like, well, it's never going to happen. I do wear nice clothes sometimes. But yeah, I'm talking about all the superficial shit. I'm never going to fit into what society wants from me at this age. I'm always going to be the exception, the supra-normal person, different than what society expects. And that's fine. And I'm coming to terms with it. That's why I'm doing this video. It's like, I'm coming to terms with the idea that I'm going to stand out I'm going to stand out because I'm from Canada. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm going to stand out from what society expects, what society wants from me, because that's the way it goes. I'm not going to do anything illegal, of course, but well, not that I'm going to share on video. I'm just kidding. But anyways, I speed some of the time, but so like, I'll never be what people expected me to be. They probably wanted this thing, oh, you could do this, even other relatives who I do get along with, let's say, oh, over the years, like, oh, you could do this, go that route, oh, do this. It's like, well, I'm never going to be what you want. I'm never going to be fully what you want. At least other relatives accept me as a person, and they still give suggestions, but they're not like subconsciously like projecting this fear of failure on me to say, oh, you have to be this and that, and then do these, insidiously underhanded reactions to my wishes or my dreams or goals, like a certain relative has done for decades. So, and it's gonna be different. I'm gonna be a different person. I'm gonna have things that are exceptional. Exceptions, literally exceptional, not exceptional, also exceptional. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I pull a king diamond and have a kid at fucking 60 or whatever. Wouldn't be surprised down the road. I'm still interested in doing this company that I've been talking about with my friend for years. Obviously, he has a lot of, obstacles too. But I'm going to try to do it on my own and see if he wants to come along. If he doesn't, if he can't do the work, then that's what it is. I have this idea, and I'm going to do things that I want to do. And people might cut it down and say, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you can't do that. You don't have that. I don't have the social support mechanism to do a lot of what I want to do. I don't. I realize I'm not like some popular fucking dude, like with all these connections and networks, and a lot of things are harder to do, especially when you get as old as me. Like, it's harder to start out doing certain things or doing things that you've never done before, even, which are some of these things like this company, which I'm not going to talk about what it is on this video. But there's different things that I try to do, and they're insane. Like, the ambition is insane. Like, the goal in my head is like, holy shit, that's big time. Like, I do want to fucking like buy. This is my next goal as far as material things, because I just love this idea. I do want like a 69 Chevy Impala black, obvious fucking stupid show, but I love it. I don't know. It's guilty pleasure in a way. Like, I hated the last episode of Supernatural, but the series I do like, but I don't care if I'm looking like a fucking poser today. I kind of feel a little awkward, but sometimes. But I want a 78 Camaro, or some kind of Hesher car, that people drove in the 80s, like a sports Hesher car. That's my like next goal. It's a little more attainable than a 69 or 68 Camaro, and probably, I don't know if it will run better or not. I know old American cars like this, the 60s are way better than even like late 70s American cars, I'm sure. But yeah, that's what kind of what I want. But that's just like another side note. So yeah, I do a lot of things. I try a lot of different stuff. I've tried a lot of stuff. I tried this fucking website that I did and didn't go anywhere. I tried all these different projects that never go anywhere. Or they're very stagnant or slow either way. I don't give a shit, you know. I do things that I want to do, you know. I don't care what society thinks about it. Now, if I had a better, bigger network of people, it probably would be better. It probably would be better if I was, you know, less socially awkward in certain situations, or, you know, less combative like the last 2 years I've been. Obviously, I've alienated people because of my takes, you know, I guess, you know. I guess I expected that you know, like the virus stuff, like I expected that this shit would happen. Like people would be finally admitting that, you know, mask mandates don't work, and like in the New York Times, and all this shit is just never going to end. It's just this never-ending cycle. It's like insanity, you know. If you want to go back to normal, go back to normal. If you don't, then don't. That's your choice. Go back to normal, old normal, you know, which wasn't that great in some ways, obviously. So yeah, I don't expect. So I alienated some friends from that. It's a big fucking deal. Other friends were totally went along with everything, and they still accept me as a person because they know, like, well, yeah, I can sort of see his point with that. And I try to, you know, come up with a peace accord with, you know, those guys, because I don't want to lose friends over stupid shit, over political arguments. So, like, I try to try to have conversations about shit sometimes. It's like, and we try to come to a middle ground. But other people are just like, oh, you alienate people. Yeah. You know, I mean, people that have mental health challenges are usually the ones that aren't friends with me anymore, by the way. Like this Facebook friend from Europe, like, she told me once she has no friends in real life. I'm like, and then she deletes me and gets all mad at me. It's like, well, first of all, the people that are more mentally, like, not competent, emotionally competent probably wouldn't delete me from Facebook necessarily. Of course, they don't engage in my posts a lot of the time now, but, you know, people will say, oh, they think of all this stuff. But of course, you know, there's a tendency of me and people like me that to kind of be a little bit more self-absorbed. That's something I have to work on too. You know, it's like, you know, that's kind of the introvert's way in some ways. And that's one thing, you know, one thing that people have said that actually is relevant, you know. I mean, if people want to say, this is not a Green Lantern ring, by the way, it's just an eyeball. But, you know, if people want to fucking say that they want me to be some kind of professional guy that dates women his own age and, like, is, like, all, like, normal and just does normal things like the rest of the family or rest of the people that they know or whatever, that's one thing. But to criticize, like, things that are personality quirks that are actually somewhat detrimental to my own goals, ironically enough, that is a different story. That's a different take that I probably agree with. So, but these people, you know, I realize I'll never be fucking normal, you know. I'll never be fucking normal. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get married or have children or buy a house in the fucking suburbs one day or something like that, or buy a Victorian mansion or, you know, 78 Camaro, whatever my goal is. Oh, we're not going to be able to buy it and we're not going to be able to own those in 2 years because of the carbon. Oh, I don't know. Who knows? But, you know, maybe in a red state I'll be able to own it, or, you know, or I'll have to get a new engine if I live in this state or whatever. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? And things are going kind of right wing now. Like, people are going more right wing, which, do I disagree with that? I don't know. I think sometimes the pendulum goes way too far, and I don't think it's a real left thing, because it's not. There's finally actual leftism happening with these unionizing things, like economic leftism, which something I agree with to some extent. So, but anyways, like, I will never be normal, and I realize it's too late. And what do I mean by that? It's too late for me to go back. Anyway, I could do Neville Goddard all day, you know, fucking revision. And I'm going to do that for different things. And people But it's too late for me to go back and say, hey, Matt, back in, middle school, why don't you study up and become like a doctor when you grow up, and like have a normal life with, you meet, like the dating thing, like you fool around in middle school and high school, and then you sort of have in high school, you have a long-term relationship, lose your virginity, blah, 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 blah. I know it always comes down to this. No, it's not like that. Have normal things, go to college, be in a frat or not even a frat, but have a dorm and fucking do your normal shit, and get a job and an apprenticeship and then go to